everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the 1815 French Officer Saber by Coldsteel. Now I think they still have this in production, I'm not sure. Everything on their website when it comes to swords is pretty much sold out. But I'm going to talk about this anyway because this is literally just one of my favorite swords they make. It comes with this scabbard, which I thought was stainless steel, but it's not so stainless. As you can see, there's rusting on it, right? It used to be a lot better. I didn't really take care of it. If you have this thing, you should probably keep it oiled. I didn't keep it oiled, so if I want to make this shiny again, I've got to take some steel wool and just probably rub it off or something. It's got brass fittings here. You can attach something here if you really want to wear it like you're LARPing or something like that. But what's really cool about this is just the overall aesthetic. The way that this looks is just beautiful, and that's probably why they have it like on the website as like $615 or something. But it really usually retails like from like $350 to $475 in other places. I got this for $200 because I went a long time ago to a Coldsteel parking lot sale, and they were just kind of selling their, I guess on Cult of Athena they call it munitions grade items, and they were selling those for kind of cheap. And so like I would go like a few times, and yeah, got some cool stuff. But this is my most favorite thing I've ever gotten from there because this is actually quality. This sword, even though of course like Coldsteel stuff is usually tip heavy, it is so damn lively, dude. Like, it's battle ready for sure. And why I even say that is because, like, you know, they always say, oh, it's battle ready because it has durability, right? This has balance. This has speed, you know? Your hands don't fatigue as much when you're holding this. The handle, it's got embroidery on it. It's very similar to the Napoleon sword by Coldsteel, but it's just a little bit more fancy. This one, because it's a sword second, right? This isn't as shiny or polished, and that's why I got it for $200. But just take a look at it. If you were to get this brand new, this would be the most exquisite sword ever. It's got two little elk here, just kind of like House Baratheon from Game of Thrones. I don't think it even came out back then, 2015. You got embroidery on the blade, just like they used to do a long time ago in Napoleon's army. The blade's got a nice mirror polish. It's not stainless, so you gotta take care of it. Keep it in sheath or something, you know. It's about 2 pounds. I'll probably check that in a bit. And the balance is about 6.5 inches from the guard, so about here somewhere. Let me see. Oop, there we go. Oops, it's sliding. Yeah, and it's just overall one of my best cutters ever. And part of the reason why is because it's got no bevel. This is a straight up apple seed grind, like axes, except it's a sword. As you can see, it's just all the way flat down, flush with the edge. Of course, you know, this is something you can definitely touch up and make you even sharper, and I've definitely done a little bit, but it cuts things like butter. And I haven't done like any tatami testing or anything, but this is just something I've used a lot for fun to cut water bottles, you know, and I'll probably show a few of those later, and also make a separate video because I think I have a lot in my phone archive of bottle cutting. But let's compare this side by side with the Napoleon Saber. So this is a side by side of the Napoleon Saber and the 1815 French Officer Saber. And as you can see, the blade on this is about 33.5 inches long on this one, I'm pretty sure, and it's 32 inches on this one. And part of the reason I'm showing them side by side is because they look remarkably similar in design. You know, you've got this guard right here that has the three ring kind of thing that you can like cover your hand with here. This covers it a little bit more than the French Officer Saber. As you can see here, this covers only a slight smaller bit, you know, and your thumb's a little bit exposed here. But I suppose that's to help with the grip. If you're gonna hold it like this, like some people used to do, which I'm not sure, you know, it's really advisable. Because the other person's blade can just catch on your thumb, but I suppose it aids in slashing, right? Because you're shifting the center of balance closer to your hand. These both have distal tapers. This one tapers a little bit more sharply, while this one I feel like doesn't taper as much because it's partially longer. And as you can see, at the very end, it starts really tapering on this one. And on the French Officer Saber, I'm going to show you the tapering a little better now that I'm behind the camera. As you can see, it gets narrower the closer it gets to the tip. Now the difference is that while this has that appleseed grind going on, I don't know if it shows it properly. Maybe it'll be like this. Yeah, there we go. So you can see there's no actual visible secondary bevel. The Napoleon Saber has a secondary bevel. And one thing that I don't like about this blade, and it's very common among Coldsteel swords, is that the bevel is quite acute the closer you are to the tip. And maybe they'd argue that, you know, when it's closer to the tip, the sword structure needs to be stronger to withstand, you know, abuse or something. But what happens is you're not going to be hitting somebody with this part, which it's actually kind of sharp here. You're hitting them with this part, and because this bevel is so acute, it really ruins the cut. You know, it becomes more of a sharp bludgeoning instrument, you know. So that's, you know, one of my critiques of the Napoleon Saber and many others for being like that. This, however, near the tip, it is sharp. At least I've made it sharp. I don't want to really run my hand across it because, you know, even though it isn't as sharp right now, I probably need to touch it up. It will cut, dude. Oh my God. And I'll show you in a little bit. One more thing you'll notice is that the handle on the Napoleon Saber is smaller than the handle on the 1815 French Officer Saber. And I suppose maybe that's because of gloves, who knows, maybe just design. And this is like kind of historically close to what they used to use. Now my hands, I have really thick palms, so my hands are wide. And so for me, this kind of feels small. Perhaps that does aid with, you know, swinging, because you can actually do this grip right here properly with this sword, which is the proper way that people teach Western saber fencing, you know, to literally kind of pinch with your thumb and index finger up top. I think that's captured. Ah, there we go. So with this one though, it's a little bigger. The French Officer Saber, the handle's a little bigger, but this wire wrapped leather here is actually thinner. So because my hands are thick, my palm is thick, my fingers aren't as long though, and this fits perfectly. Oh my God, but it's a little longer. You know, that's the only drawback, and I do like that flexibility though, but it makes having that historical European saber fencing grip a little harder to maintain. So I opt for a kind of a compromise like this. Ah yes, you may be wondering what are the dimensions of this sword, as a sharp vac hums in the background of a man cleaning wood chips and dust. So, I looked on the website, and this is 30 plus inches, which is pretty vague, right? It's in the realm of 32 and, you know, 30. So that's kind of like what Coldsteel says it is. They also say it's 34 ounces, which is 2 pounds, 2 ounces, you know, 16 ounces per pound. And this is made of 1055 high carbon steel that's been spring tempered. Just hope, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, and you know, it handles nicely, cuts okay, as far as I can tell. I mean, who knows if I bent it out of shape or not. If I bent it out of shape or not. And here's some cuts. The famous 6 angled strikes. I forget what you call it, but it was like proper, just kind of the basics of sword play and fencing back in the day for military swordsmanship. I think there's a lot of channels that covered those. But yeah, this is quite a lively blade. It's a cut and thrust sword. So with thrusting, it's halfway decent as well. You know, I'm not really expert in this. You know, I'm pretty noob. I think sabers excel in cutting, and you know, thrusting is great as well, but one of the most powerful things you can do with the saber is that draw cut. And by power, I mean efficiency, you know. You could do ascending cuts as well, you know, those will kind of cut your opponent. But draw cuts though, you know. And typically those ascending cuts are usually to just kind of set up other things. Anyway, so here's, you know, I added for fun, just some random messing around with the sword and buckler, right? I'm not a master at Hema. I am not, what's the word? Professional Hema practitioner. I'm not formally trained in Hema. These are just kind of stuff I've practiced over time, and I've gotten well versed in going through the motions of swinging a sword around, and yeah. Here's some more cutting. I have a lot of videos cutting bottles with the sword, and I'm gonna make a separate video and post it later. But here's just a few more, just for your entertainment. That was sweet. Well, my delightful viewers, that about wraps up this video. This is a beastly sword, beastly saber. One of my favorites, and I'm glad I actually took the time to review it. And yeah, in the meantime though, I'm going to be making all sorts of content, because even though they tell you, hey, focus on your niche, you know, and tunnel vision, and just like, you know, only do that one little thing. Well, you know, I've always been kind of a Renaissance man, so I'm going to do all the things that I'm interested in, and I hope you guys like them, and I will be posting them. So look out for new videos, just philosophy, just like thoughts and stuff, and maybe even music. But in the meantime, like and subscribe, comment below. Tell me if you think I should make different channels that are just totally niche channels, like with my dog or something, you know. And yeah, remember to like and subscribe. In the meantime, you guys have a great day.